Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn, guys. Happy New Year to everyone, guys. 2026 is upon us. More importantly, the transfer window has opened, guys. Before I start, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to that channel. Please, this channel, not that channel, this channel. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video if you guys can do that for me. Wishing you a happy, prosperous 2026, guys. Onwards and upwards. And that is all it is about, isn't it, guys? You know what I mean? We're here. We're talking about football. We are blessed, guys. So welcome aboard. I hope you're all well. Let's get into some Manchester United news now. According to various reports over here in Italy and around the world, Manchester United are preparing a major bid for Carlos Baleba. Now, look, guys, we've heard it here. We've been ill before. Obviously, the news about Carlos Baleba. Of course, Carlos Baleba has already agreed to go to Manchester United. His entourage himself, I said at the end of October, Manchester United have already agreed a deal in principle with the player and obviously his entourage and his agents and things like that, because, of course, that is very important. But Manchester United are preparing an opening bid for Carlos Baleba, which is seen to be around 55 million euros, guys. Man United are not wasting any time. At least we hope they're not. At least we hope they're not, because obviously we have to get the deals done this January, because we are in absolute mess at the moment. And there was double down again, obviously, the other night, of course, guys, against Wolverhampton Wanderers, when the weaknesses of our squad were exposed, when we had various young players on the bench and on the pitch, of course, which is not a bad thing, but you do have to mix it in a little bit, guys. You do have to have a few experienced heads there. So Carlos Baleba, opening bid, 55 million euros to Manchester United. Could this happen? Could Carlos Baleba finally be a Manchester United player? Now, look, guys, look, I like Carlos Baleba. I've said it. I'm not going to flip-flop from what I said before. Obviously, his performances were concerning, but I will also not flip-flop from the fact that I do give young players a chance, and I do understand that young players, you know, that it's not about making mistakes. It's just that, you know, they could feel the pressure a little bit more, but that doesn't mean they won't mature later in years. The only problem I have is that if he did eventually sign for Man United and he played very well, and then, look, for example, Real Madrid come calling or something like that, is he going to, resist? Is his head going to be turned? And that was my biggest concern about that. However, at this moment in time, at this very moment, I just want players in, and I believe that he will be a good signing for Man United. And the fact that he's desperate to come to Manchester United, it gives me a little bit of hope, guys. It does give me a little bit of hope, because obviously when you're desperate to go to Man United, you want players that are desperate to go to Man United. You want players that really want to play for the football club. You want that, don't you? You don't want, you know, players that, I've got that option. Because obviously Carlos Baleba was wanted by Liverpool not too long ago. For whatever reason, that didn't materialize. And Man United came calling. And the key to this deal, guys, and the clue to this deal is that, have you heard any other football club that are interested in Carlos Baleba at the moment? Have you heard anyone, any club? No. Why? He's already agreed to go to Manchester United. The agreement is in place. The agreement has been in place since October, and he will be a Manchester United player. I've said it. I said I see Carlos Baleba being a Man United player. I've said it for a while. I see him being Carlos Baleba being a Man United player. No other team is lurking around him. Why is that? And you have to ask yourself the question, don't you? If you know he hadn't agreed terms, other teams already know. He's already agreed terms with Man United. Now, the most important thing, of course, is for Manchester United to agree a deal with Brighton. That is the most important thing. Now, do I think 50 million, 55 million be enough? Probably not. Brighton won't be easy sellers, of course, guys. They'll probably be asking for about 60, 70, easy. You know what I mean? But Man United are trying their luck at the end of the day. We haven't got long in this transfer window. Of course, 21st of January. Is it the 24th or 25th of January? I think that the window closes, and we ain't got long, guys. Only a couple of weeks. It's a short window, of course, guys. So we can't be beating around the bush. And this is why, in general, when you buy players in January, the players' price tags are exaggerated and inflated, because obviously you have to get deals done quickly, and you can't do, like, for example, what we did with the Embremo deal, which is wait 2 months for the deal to be done. it has to be just like, what do you need? What do you want for the player? Okay, we'll give you this. No, we can't that. Okay, we'll give you that. All right, right. And it's like that sort of thing. And you get the deal done quickly. But Carlos Baleba to Man United is an interesting one. It is one piece of the puzzle. We do need a lot of signings in there, in particular in that midfield. I don't think necessarily we're at that bad at defence. I think when De Ligt comes back, when Mazraoui comes back, of course, Leach is already back. I think we're going to be all right. But having that one piece of the jigsaw, which will be Carlos Baleba, would be a huge plus, of course, guys. Absolutely. And obviously, we need this partner there. We need to bring in another player as well, guys, whether that's an Elliot Anderson, whether it's an Adam Wharton, whoever it is, guys. Absolutely. So, but in regards to Manchester United need to make a move in the transfer market in regards to midfield. I just don't think we really focus on that midfield enough. I really do. I think that Man United are, you can count on one hand how many midfielders we've signed over the last, 12 years, and as I said the other day, the best midfielder to sign for Man United over the last 20 years is Michael Carrick. We haven't signed anyone anywhere near as good as that. We've had the Schweinsteigers, Herreras, Pogba's, Casemiro's, of course, guys, and none of them have really lived up to the level and really consistently been in that Manchester United midfield, of course, guys. Absolutely not, of course, guys. But that is a something to look out for. The window is open, guys. There is no excuses now. The business starts now. Everything boils down to now, guys. It's all about Manchester United. It's all about what we do in this transfer market now. The window is open. No excuses. Do they care about this football club? We're gonna have to wait and see, isn't it? If they don't do any moves in this summer, if they don't sign any players in January, I don't care if they bid for players. I don't care about that. If they don't get any players in, then you know where their focus is and you know where their priorities lie, isn't it? At the end of the day, guys, absolutely. But yeah, a little bit of news coming out over here. Manchester United, 55 million bid for Carlos Baleba. Let's wait and see what happens in regards to that. And let's hope that that deal materializes. Of course, guys, absolutely. Now, speaking of players and midfield, player might be leaving the football club is Manuel Ugarte. Of course, there's a lot of debates around Manuel Ugarte. Manuel Ugarte leaving the football club. Of course, it hasn't quite worked out for Manuel, unfortunately. But it's nothing personal. Sometimes in life, things just don't work out, do they? And, especially in football, we know as well as anyone that, if, sometimes you'd be excited about a player and you need that, really want that player. And I remember I was sitting in this very chair and we were talking about Ugarte coming to Man United, and we were so excited about Manuel Ugarte coming to Man United. According to Erten Suzgun, Man United's position on Manuel Ugarte has become less firm, and the club could let him leave on a temporary basis, despite inability being reluctant to listen to loan offers. And despite initially being listening to loan offers. Now, it does look like Manuel Ugarte is unhappy. It does look like that way. It doesn't look like he's settled down in Manchester as well as he could have, of course, guys, which for me is a shame. Fabrizio Romano's confirmed Manchester United are very much open to selling Manuel Ugarte as well, who is struggling to save his career at the club. United are considering how much they can recoup from the 50 million investment. And there is the key, guys, the 50 million investment that was, though. How much can Manchester United get back from Manuel Ugarte? How much money can they recoup for Manuel Ugarte transfer? Look, I feel sorry for him. I'm not being nasty or anything like that. But I feel sorry for him. Could he leave on loan with an obligation? That's another thing. Who's interested in Manuel Ugarte? Now, Galatasaray are the team that are looking most likely to make a move for Manuel Ugarte, guys. Galatasaray are the most potent, the most vocal club that are talking about Manuel Ugarte at the moment. But Man United are looking to move on from Manuel. It just hasn't worked out, like I said, and I wish him all the best if he does end up leaving the football club. But as I reiterate, it doesn't mean he's going to leave. If no one comes in, he's not going to be going anywhere. Man United have made their stance pretty clear. If no one comes in, no one's leaving. And obviously that is wise because we haven't got a squad. And imagine getting rid of Ugarte right now and we don't bring anyone in, and be absolutely comedy gold, wouldn't it, at the end of the day, in a bad way, guys. And so, look, until the players come in, no one is leaving this football club at this very moment, of course, guys. But Man United are looking to offload a couple of players, in particular in January, of course, to this month, of course, because there's a lot of work to be done in the summer when the World Cup is on as well. And obviously, when the World Cup is on, when players are at the World Cup, it's very difficult to do deals. Let me tell you that right now. Lots of agents are at the World Cup. And when the players finish the World Cup, the players want to go on a holiday and things like that, of course, guys. According to various reports, Kobbie Mainoo is a potential transfer option for Chelsea, guys. Now, would I want to sell Kobbie Mainoo to Chelsea? Absolutely not. I wouldn't, because I know the potential and I know the talent of Kobbie Mainoo. However, it does depend on the bid. It does depend on the money that we receive for Kobbie Mainoo. Now, if Man United get an offer, 60, 70 million above, go for it. Now, that 60 million can be reinvested, we hope, into another midfielder for Manchester United, of course, guys. The report states that Manchester United player fits Chelsea's recruitment criteria with his age and profile and has a good relationship with Cole Palmer and Garnacho stylistically. So this is the narrative coming out now, guys, that Cole Palmer and Garnacho are the two players that he fits. He fits the stylistic mannerisms of Chelsea. Of course, guys, I don't know what style Chelsea play, to be honest with you, with Enzo Maresca. Surprise, no, the media ain't going in on Enzo Maresca's lack of playing style and stuff like that, isn't it? But Kobbie Mainoo, it has been linked to Chelsea. Now, of course, when London is calling, these players tend to turn, don't they? They want to go to London. Some of these players, they want to live in London, you know what I mean? And all that jazz, of course. But what I would say is that Kobbie Mainoo is a player I heavily admire. I wouldn't want Man United to sell him. I wouldn't mind Man United loaning him. I wouldn't mind him going on loan somewhere and doing well. I do wish the best for him. Of course, the whole episode with the T-shirt and everything of all that nonsense, of course, has come to light. And I think Man United need to move on from these type of dramas, guys. We seem to be addicted to drama. Man United are addicted to drama. I'll be honest, guys. And it's like every time you turn on the news, there's something different about Man United, guys. You know, guys, absolutely. But the Daily Telegraph, a UK outlet, has also linked Kobbie Mainoo to Chelsea. Now, guys, look, I would much rather. I'm in Naples at the moment and Napoli at the moment, and there's a lots of talk about Kobbie Mainoo. Lots of talk about him going to Napoli as well. So if I was Kobbie Mainoo, if I was to give some advice to Kobbie Mainoo, whether he takes it or not, go to Napoli, Kobbie. And that's not just about because Chelsea are in the Premier League. I just feel like he would do very well at Napoli. He would be the guy in there. He would get in the team. I know that Napoli have got a big squad. They've got a good squad as well. But he would, you know, they're challenging for the league. Go to Napoli, you know, make a name for yourself and rebuild your career. It hasn't broken yet, your career. Your career's still there. It's just the fact that you got an injury, obviously, and it's such bad timing, isn't it? It's a bit sinister, of course, but you know, when we think about it, but it is such bad timing. It really is, absolutely, guys. It is really bad timing. So, guys, let me get into a little other bit of news, guys. Man United are in the lookout for players, of course, guys. And we're looking at a player at the moment. The player's name, of course, is Tariq. Let me just get this going. Tariq Muhammadovic. Muhammadovic. Now, Tariq Muhammadovic is a defender who plays for Sassuolo in of course, Italy. He's a 22-year-old centre-back, can play right back, can play left back, can play in the midfield sometimes as well. Tariq Muhammadovic, let's call him Tariq, big up Tariq. Manchester United have identified a Sassuolo centre-back, Tariq Muhammadovic, as a target to improve their defense and are monitoring him. United have been scouting 22-year-old Bosnia international regularly and sent representatives to watch him play last Sunday. The club faces competition from Juventus and Inter Milan, who are also considering a move for the defender. Now, Tariq, of course, very talented individual, has already played for, of course, Juventus, I believe he has. But he has jumped leaps and bounds this season, the Bosnian international at Sassuolo. And guys, Man United are looking at defensive options as well to fill in the void. They are a little bit concerned about the defense, and I'm not too sure. I think, look, in my opinion, as long as the defender can play a right back, can play a left back, can fit into midfield sometimes, I don't mind Man United signing a defender. But I think we need a little bit of a versatile player in there. And Tarek is obviously a very talented 22-year-old player, of course, very experienced for his age as well. And with Inter Milan hovering around, even AC Milan as well, are hovering around, Juventus hovering around. There's obviously something there that we need to look at, of course. And Man United have been scouting him and scouted him last Sunday. And look, I say, look, you know what? Whatever Man United choose to do in this window, I think Man United need to look at bringing in players that are needed right now, that are priority right now, in my opinion. And Tarek Maharamovic, of course, guys, is one of those players that could come, of course, in you know, and look, at the end of the day, there's no secret that Man United are looking at a centre back as well. There's obviously Nico Schlotterbeck, Mark Gui, of course, Diomande, we've been speaking about, guys. Yeah, so there's obviously going to be a lot of links to these players, of course, guys. Absolutely. Guys, now, obviously, we're looking at players, and I don't want us to get into that desperate thing, you know, the desperate realms of chasing after any player and signing any player, guys. I don't want to get into that realms, guys. Absolutely not. And I want Man United to look at players, and I want Man United to say, right, they're going to fit and they're going to be good. Now, Manchester United, another player linked to Manchester United is Nathan De Cat. Now, Nathan De Cat is at Anderlecht, 17-year-old Anderlecht centre midfielder, guys. Anderlecht midfielder Nathan De Cat has been linked with a move to Manchester United. The 17-year-old Belgian has also been previously associated with Aston Villa and multiple top European clubs, including Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Olympique Marseille, and Bayer Leverkusen. Nathan De Cat is a new name off the block, guys. Nathan De Cat, but remember, guys, we're going to be linked with a lot of players, guys. So I think it's important that we keep our ears open to these names that could be coming to Manchester United. He's got a 35 million price tag, which is quite steep for a 17-year-old, which, of course, indirectly does show his talent as well. You could say that. It could show his talent as well, that he's valued at so much, guys, you know, at that very, very young age, of course, absolutely. But Nathan De Cat of Anderlecht linked to Manchester United this morning in a 35 million fee, centre midfielder. Guys, and that is something to look out for. Play that one by ear, whatever you want to do. That is something to look out for, of course. Now, another player linked to Manchester United in that centre midfield, and Manchester United are facing competition for this player from Brighton and Hove Albion. His name is Kaleb Yerenki, guys. So Kaleb Yerenki is a 19-year-old player who plays for FC Nordsjælland, guys, at the moment. The Ghanaian midfielder has attracted attention in the Premier League. Yerenki has other admirers, including Arsenal and Bournemouth. Look, you know, another central midfielder, 19-year-old that Man United are going after. His valuation is around 23 million, guys. So Kaleb Yerenki is a player that we're talking about here, guys, and he is an interesting one to look forward to look at the moment, because obviously he's at that age, 19-year-old, that Man United have earmarked as like a bracket age sort of thing that Man United want to bring in and stuff like that. So very, very interesting going forward, of course, guys. Now, guys, this is just the start of the window, and I've already got lots of names coming up for you that Man United could be signing, could be approaching. Now, look, every single player I like to hope that we're linked to is going to fit in at Man United and going to be ready to play for Manchester United, because ultimately what we want players in right now, don't we? We want players in right now. We don't want to be beating around the bush here. We need players in right now. We need players that could play now and prove the football team, because obviously what was so very, very evident and scary against Wolverhampton Wanderers was how weak our squad is. And we knew that anyway. And this is why we've been preaching the transfer window, of course, guys. Absolutely. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Go. Lots of names being mentioned there. Of course, the main players there, of course, obviously, Carlos Baleba is one that, you know what, is very, very loud. and has been for a long, long time. I actually want to put the Carlos Baleba thing to bed. I do. I want him to just sign for Man United. Do what we all, it's the worst kept secret in football. Carlos Baleba to Man United. Do what's just bloody sign him. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. And just pull it to bed and we move on, and we move on to another player, of course, guys. Absolutely. But I'm looking at that. I'm looking at players that Man United are linked to, and it's very interesting, because there is an array of players, of course, from the defense to the midfield and the attack, of course. So it is pretty evident that Man United are looking at them, of course. Now, one more player I'm going to mention today, okay, is Pascal Gross. Pascal Gross is a 34-year-old centre midfielder. Okay, so Pascal Gross is a 34-year-old that Man United, in the worst case scenario, could bring in as a stopgap, right? Borussia Dortmund, he currently plays for, guys, and I don't know, guys, but he's a player that Man United could bring in on loan, right, guys? Man United might be bringing him in, and basically still a march on Brighton. We'll have to wait and see in regards to that one. These type of players, I'm not too sure about. Centre midfielder, 3 million, age 34, guys. Guys, he can cover several positions on the right-hand side of the team. Okay, so Pascal Gross, this is why Man United are looking at him. It was seen that he's going to Brighton. He's, close to Brighton, which is why I'm bringing this in last, of course, guys. But he could go to Brighton. He's due for a medical, but Man United have come in last minute to inquire about a possibility of acquiring Pascal Gross, guys. And let's wait and see what happens with that one. But it does look likely he's going to be going to Brighton and Hove Albion. But Man United have come in with a last-minute offer for this guy, obviously, on the right-hand side. 34-year-old, very experienced, can fill in the various positions on that right-hand side. So let's wait and see what happens, guys, in regards to that. But that is a stopgap, obviously. He's only valued at 3 million. He's going to be on a free transfer as well, of course, guys. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens to that, of course. Let me just get through some of your comments. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome, you legends. I hope you're all doing well, everyone. I hope you're all blessed. Welcome, guys. Big up, Garrett. What's going on, my friend? Big up, Sal. Good morning. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Same to you, my guy. Big up yourself. The transfer window's open. I hope Ineos is going to bat Amram. Otherwise, they can let him go, brother, because he is struggling. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if they're not going to back him up, if I was Ruben Amram, I would just walk. But obviously, he wouldn't walk because he miss out on a lot of money. Kenny, there needs to be significant in January. No excuse for Ineos. They have the money. I agree. Absolutely, Kenny. There's no excuses. I don't want to hear any more excuses for Ineos. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? 2 midfielders minimum. Absolutely, Mark Gemini. How you doing? Happy New Year. Hope everyone is well. Happy New Year to you, Sanjay. Happy New Year to you, Nikki, as well. Morning, everyone. Near the end of the night shift. Big up and enjoy your night shift, my friend. Enjoy it, mate, and have a good break if you do. Of course, Happy New Year. Big up, Sal. Big up yourself, Bilal. Good to see you again. New United. Let's start this year with a bang. Absolutely. That is what it's all about, guys. We have to start the year in fantastic fashion. And how do we start the year in fantastic fashion? Of course, signing some bloody players. Sign some bloody players. Get some bloody players through the door. And then obviously we could be more confident going into the second half of the season, guys, because they don't call this the business part of the season for no reason. You know what I mean? And when I'm looking at Man United at the moment, I'm looking at the multitude of games that we've got in of course, January. We got some difficult games in January, guys. Obviously, we've got Man City coming. We've got Leeds away. We've got Brighton in the Cup. We've got Arsenal as well coming up as well. So we've got some very, very difficult games, guys. And we have to have a squad, because I'm looking at the squad right now, and I just don't feel like this squad is anywhere near the levels that we need it to be. I know that a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, well, the squad is good enough." It's not good enough, guys. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking that we really do need to get some more players in there. Absolutely. Big up, Palms. What's going on? How you doing? Happy New Year to you, my friend. Big up yourself. The chemistry between Ahmed and Bremo and Baleba would be insane. Absolutely, Bilal. Let's wait and see about it. You know what? We can all hope, can't we? We can all hope. I hope that the Baleba deal doesn't get dragged out the whole window and waste time to get in. I mean, the problem is, Nikki, is that this window isn't like the summer window, isn't it? You only get about 3 weeks to actually do your deal. So it does get a little bit desperate sometimes, but you have to do what you have to do. And we have to use this transfer window to our advantage, because obviously the World Cup is going on. And rest assured, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool are going to be using this transfer window to their advantage, you know. And there's a multitude of reasons why we should be doing deals in January, because you bring in a player in January and they get used to the surroundings, they get used to the club. So by the start of next season, these players will be ready to go. You know, I don't understand why we don't explore the January window effectively and potently enough. We haven't throughout history. You know, one here, one there. I think the biggest signing Man United made in recent years was Bruno Fernandes in January, if I wasn't wrong. And that didn't go too badly, did it? At the end of the day, he actually contributed to Man United qualifying for the Champions League. Good morning, Kenyon. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year to you as well, kid. Kind of weird news on the other channels on the New Year. So happy about your positivity. Bless up, Kenny. Kenyon. At the end of the day, everyone wants us to be negative. At the end of the day, you know, some of them get very bitter when you have differences of opinion as well, guys. At the end of the day, people just want to see the world burn, and that is just what it is. At the end of the day, look, I'm in a period now. There's no point me being negative. No point me being you know, I'm going to call out the problems at Man United, of course. Me mentioning transfers right now is obviously clarifying the problems at Man United as well. You know, because we should have got these deals done in the summer. And I know I always say that, you know, I'm not going to flip-flop from 4 out of 10 window. There's some people who live up Ineos backside who say that Man United had a good window in the summer. And I clarify, we did not have a good window in the summer, and that is why we are where we are, even though we're only 2 points from 4th place, which is not the end of the world, which some people seem very willing to move the goalposts, if you know what I mean, in regards to what they predicted at the beginning of the season, which I find absolutely ridiculous and crazy. You don't like the guy. You don't like the guy, that's fine. Say it with chest. Don't beat around the bush. Do you know what I mean? This is democracy at the end of the day. People can have their opinions about the manager, but I'm not going to be jumping on everyone's opinion. I'm not going to become a sheep. I'm not going to be going in car parks. I'm not going to be threatening people and nothing materializes from it. It's ridiculous at the end of the day. And our club is slowly becoming an absolute farce. And with these people. And let me be honest with you, these old school content creators that have been there for like 10, 15 years, I think they need to be gone, because I just believe that they've gone so far in regards to bantering the football club indirectly. And we're being more known for these guys than the actual football club, which is crazy. Excuse me. Got a cough, guys. Excuse me. We're being more known for the content creators than actual football. Yeah, and that is what it is. And we need a new breed. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. I'm not kind of new. I've been around a long time, guys. Before they were on YouTube, I was doing YouTube, by the way. Let me just tell you that right now. Before all your top thing up to 2006, 2005, I was making music videos on YouTube and stuff and videos. So they need to hold that. Chadinga, Sal, good morning to you. Happy New Year to you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Guys, I am traveling today. Let me just clarify. I am traveling today. I'm going back to the UAE. I will be going back to Abu Dhabi. And guys, so there will be no streams later on. But so what? Just make the most of it here. And I will be back, obviously, on Friday tomorrow. Guys, to bring you Breaking Dawn again, guys, and the shifts. Obviously, the streams will get back to normal. Now I'll start doing more watch-alongs as well, guys. Of course, the AFCON is on. I've got to do more of those as well. It's time to get the deals done, bro. Absolutely, Kevin. It's no excuses now. It's time to get it moving. Happy New Year to you as well, Hefrem. Thank you so much for your support and everything. Everyone, thank you so much for your fantastic and amazing support over the year. Really appreciate you all. Hope you had a fabulous New Year. No excuses. We need to sign midfielders in January. Absolutely. Big up, my friend Dave. What's going on, mate? Hope you're doing well. Just like we have been saying, Brighton really want offload Baleba. What I would give them props for that is that if they have issues with a player, it's under the radar, so it preserves the value. They do things very well, Brighton. They don't really create an hysteria around the player that they expose problems. Obviously, there is a problem. There's nothing aggressive there. They're not at lock horns with each other. But obviously, Carlos Baleba's little bit having a sulk a little bit. He's a bit, a bit disgruntled and a bit disillusioned by the fact that he couldn't get his big move. Now, I would say this as well, what I brought in at the beginning of the season about Carlos Baleba. If Carlos Baleba truly wanted to leave Brighton and Hove Albion, he had an opportunity to leave. He could have easily put in a transfer request, which he didn't do. Now, some people may think that, you know what, that's testament to him, credit to him. He didn't hand in the transfer request. He respected Brighton. But let me tell you, just like Keith Smith, of course, I spoke about Keith Smith on this channel a lot of times, just like Keith Smith, of AZ Alkmaar. He's preparing to put in a transfer request to leave AZ Alkmaar. Now, this is not a bad thing. I'd much rather a player leave the football club, openly want to leave the football club, rather than pretend he's happy at the football club and then his head gets turned, and then he doesn't perform for his football club. And then obviously it's at detriment of the football club, of course. Now, Brighton and Hove Albion are, listen, guys, it is desperate. They do desperately want to sell Carlos Baleba. They do desperately want to cash in on Carlos Baleba. And that's understandable because they do need players that want to play for them, of course. They don't need players that, are second guessing what they're going to be doing, of course. But again, I double down on the fact that the biggest clue here in regards to Carlos Baleba is that no other football club are interested in him apart from Manchester United. And that's not because, he's rubbish, no one wants him. No, it's because he's already agreed to go to Manchester United. That is what my feeling is. It is up to Manchester United now and Brighton and Hove Albion to try and negotiate a fee, of course, which will be 55 million euros, which Man United are looking at the moment, which I don't think will suffice. I think it will be a little bit more than that, if you ask me. Absolutely. Big up. Happy New Year, Kenny, to you. I've been hearing good things about that Anderlecht kid. Our recruitment team are really looking at quality youth players. And here you go with the exclusive on Stretford Post again, Dave. Yale, that young Danish player, it did come out that Brighton has and on the verge of getting him, so United needs to strike a deal. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about, Yale. Now, Man United, I did clarify this, that Man United are second fiddle to Brighton and Hove Albion at the moment in regards to this deal. Man United are looking at that right-hand side to fix that right-hand side, and he has been a name that has been mentioned that Man United might, hijack that deal, of course, guys. And I don't know. Should Man United be concentrating on him? Pascal Gross. I don't know, guys. But, what I would say is that, Man United need numbers. Man United need a squad. And this is not about, this player's going to come into Man United and he's going to be the long-term player for Man United, 34-year-old. No. This is basically just a thing that is going to help Ruben Amorim in regards to his squad going forward. Absolutely. Dave, crazy that Ineos bought Amorim at mid-season and when he preferred coming on to the beginning of the new season and they didn't want to back him. Why set him up for foul? If they look at the end of the day, it does bring off a sinister sort of feeling in regards to Ruben Amorim. Of course it does, because you look at Ruben Amorim and you think that he's been thrown into the Lions and the Sharks at the same time. And I feel like, they brought in this manager, exciting. He's got a distinctive style of play. I really expect if Ineos... and the biggest disappointment for me is that Ruben Amorim has made mistakes. Of course, he's made mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Every manager makes mistakes. But the overriding fact here, which is a huge contribution to where we are, which is not a bad position, guys. We're 2 points from fourth. All right, guys, I just want to reiterate, we're not 2 points from 16th. So what I would say is that, not backing him with an 8 or 9 out of 10 window was incredibly incompetent from the owners. And they have not covered themselves in an array of glory. We're not throwing roses at them at the moment in regards to the way they've been performing. They've been absolutely atrocious as an ownership so far, in my humblest of opinion. I don't want them to fail. Of course, I don't want them to fail. I wanted a full sale. I wanted the Glazers out. I wanted Ineos to step aside and let a full sale happen. I don't want them to fail. Of course, I don't want them to fail, because if they succeed, Man United succeed. But unfortunately, they're failing at the moment as an ownership, and their incompetence is being there for all to see. Now, the issues that we had before Ineos came into this football club, obviously, were their how would I say it? Their history in football, basically, is not really great. You look at Lausanne, you look at FC Nice, and you look at these players, these teams, and they're not really done anything. I look at Nice as well, which Nice is an interesting one. And let me tell you about Nice, because obviously they play in the French Ligue 1, and I cannot see how you can't be successful with that football team at a level, at least getting them into the Champions League and things like that, because the French League obviously, isn't the best league in the world. To let's be fair, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and and then you look at Lausanne, who are in the second division, and you look at that and you think, wow, you know what I mean? They got relegated. They're not too good. They're not doing too good either. Tuto, what's going on, my friends? Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year, you guys. Hope you do well and hope you have a fantastic, successful, prosperous 2026, you legends. Take it easy, you guys, and have a good one, guys. Enjoy it. And, wish you all the success in the world. Great channel. Go and check them out, guys. Absolutely. Big up Bilal. Here we go. Here we go. Is here for himself. Pascal Gross. He is to Brighton, most likely. But if we can hijack him, it'd be good. It's exactly what I said, Bilal. Man United, the only way we can get this deal done, Bilal, is hijack. Now, I am a little bit confused because I do look at Pascal Gross and I look at him. Why didn't we go after him before Brighton and Albion went after him? Do you know what I mean? But also, I don't want this doubling down on the fact that we're in panic mode. Do you know what I mean? We're in panic mode. I don't want it doubling down on this, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Rasta. I have a feeling about that this window. Big up, Rasta. I hope you do well. Happy New Year to you. Sal, do you do watch along today? No, I'm traveling. I'm going back to UAE, Ephraim. So I will be going back to default mode tomorrow and Friday, of course, in my usual studio and stuff back in the UAE. I'm leaving Italy today. So yeah, there will be no watch alongs. Of course, I won't be able to do. But I will be doing a lot more watch alongs, of course, guys. But keep spreading the Stretford Post noise. Keep spreading the videos. Keep liking. Keep clipping. You guys got clips on videos, guys. Get some videos out there. Keep doing it. And thank you so much for your support. Big up, Happy New Year to you, my homie. What's going on, Renee? So how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing good. Happy New Year, big bro. Big up, big bro. Hope you're well. Hope you and your family have a blessed day. Same to you, brother. And I hope you have a happy, prosperous, successful 2026, my guy. Hope everything is good with you. Good to see you, my friend. And thank you so much for your support over this year, of course. Mazot and Bremo could be coming back on the 7th of January. They are facing each other. You know what? I don't know if they're going to be coming back on the 7th of January, Charlie, because obviously if Cameroon and Ivory Coast come 1 and 2 in a group, they both qualify, don't they, at the end of the day? So I would love them to come back. It'd be great. I don't wish bad on Ivory Coast. I don't wish bad on the Cameroon, but you know what? I would rather them play for Man United, of course. And then when we're looking at the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, it really was a shocker. And, we know, guys, and this is exactly what we were talking about, yesterday and before the African nations and before this. Ineos should have planned for the AFCON. They should have planned for the AFCON. They knew this was coming. This happens all the time. It's been here for years. Why did they not plan for it? And that is my biggest key here. If we had Ahmad in Bremo, of course, we would have defeated Wolverhampton Wanderers, guys. I am pretty certain we would have defeated Wolverhampton Wanderers, guys. I'm pretty certain we probably would have defeated a couple of other teams as well, guys. Bournemouth as well. Now, look, when I look at this and I think, what incompetence that Man United, that Ruben Amorim was left with a bunch of kids, right? And again, a lot of people, they preach to kids and stuff like that. These kids are not the class of 92. These kids are not walking into a team with Dennis Irwin, Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, Andy Cole, Ryan Giggs, Steve Bruce, Peter Schmeichel. They're not doing that. They're walking into a team that is anxious, nervous, a history of underachieving, in a position to take an opportunity, but they're too scared to grasp that opportunity. And obviously, it's very difficult to bring young players into that environment. It really is. And I would double down on that, Ruben Amorim's thinking just like me. He's thinking like, if I bring these players in this environment, it can have a long-term effect on those players. But Ruben Amorim is left with no choice. Look at that bench. Tyler Fletcher, Jack Fletcher, Mantato, Shea Lacey, Fredrickson. Look at that bench there. You look at that bench there and you think, wow. And I was speaking to Judge Mo yesterday on this channel and I was saying, like, you know what? He said that Man United have been ambitious. I think they've been half. The striker, the Mbeumo, Cunha, and Sesko, fantastic signings in my opinion. And then obviously they forgot the midfield and they forgot the defense and they forgot the wing backs and they got the goalkeeper in the last minute. And I think he's been fantastically well. But what I would say is that the rest of the team, we haven't fixed. And the engine of the team, as we all know, is the midfield, and we haven't fixed that. And then when you're looking at that bench, it was very, very scary, guys. When you looked at that was scary. Forget about scary Arsenal. Look at Man United's bench. That was a scary bench, guys. Absolutely, in a negative way, because I would love all these players to come in and do well. But as with Jack Fletcher, he's come on a couple of times and he's not really shown us anything. Now, I remember, and I don't like bringing his name into the show because he's a Liverpool player. But for example, I remember when Steven Gerrard made his debut. Let me give you an example, right? a young lad coming into the team at Liverpool, and he absolutely controlled the game from start. Boom, he was there. You knew that's a good player. You see something, all right? You see something about a player and you think, that player, he's a good one. He's a good player. Wow, what a player. And that's what I'm talking about. And the first time I saw Paul Scholes, the first time I saw, David Beckham, I saw things from these players. When David Beckham walked into the football team, I remember watching David Beckham against Galatasaray in 1994, 95. And I remember David Beckham bending one into the corner, winning 4-0 against Galatasaray. And that's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about. When as a young player, it's very difficult in this environment. Number one, right? Let me just clarify. Obviously, we got all the noises surrounding Ruben Amorim as well. Is he safe? Is he going to stay in a job and stuff like that? Back then, we had the old Alex Ferguson, didn't we? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and everything was settled. Board was settled. Club was settled. We were winning trophies, number one, and league trophies and stuff like that. So obviously, it was easier for these players to come in such a positive environment. Now, it's a negative environment. When you come into a football game against Wolverhampton Wanderers and it's 1-1, and Wolverhampton Wanderers have just got 2 points all season, right? And you've got that big pressure on your back. Oh, we can't be the team that gives Wolverhampton Wanderers their 3rd point. This can't happen. And obviously that becomes like a domino effect. I don't want people to underestimate Wolverhampton Wanderers. I know they've only got 2 points, but I'm looking at them. They only lost 2-1 to Arsenal with 2 own goals, by the way, and they only lost 2-1 to Liverpool. So obviously, I'm not going to absolutely destroy them. But should we beat Wolves? Maybe. We should have beat Wolves, yes. But again, guys, we've got kids playing for Manchester United, and it just takes, as we've said many, many times, guys, football's about fine margins here. It's all about fine margins. And if you bring in a kid into that midfield, you think that kid is better than Gomez? That's what I'm talking about. He's not going to be better than Gomez of Wolves, is he? And that's what I'm talking about, guys. And I think people really, really go away from this. And, they look at football with too simplistically at the end of the day, guys. And we'll have to wait and see what happens, of course. In regards to that, there is going to be a lot of rumours going on, guys. We have got, this is called silly season for no reason. We've got the transfer window is open. Excited about the transfer window, of course, guys. And there is going to be a lot of ins and outs and loans as well, guys. Of course, let's not forget about the loan deals as well. The one about Pascal Gross, of course, is interesting. That is what I'm hearing over here, that Man United could hijack it. Not saying it's going to happen, but it could hijack it, and that would be absolutely incredible, wouldn't it? Facts, we have a difficult fixtures from the January until March. We've had probably pound for pound, Dave, the hardest fixture list I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm feeling that way because the way we playing, I don't know. But, I think every single game is hard these days. If they don't sign players in this window, Ineos just be setting up the finish to the bottom half of the table. You know what I would say, Dave? And we have to give credit to Ruben Amorim here. We are 2 points from 4th halfway through the season. Halfway through the season, guys, I want you all to be honest with me. I want you all to be honest, right? We're an honest community. I want you all to be honest with me, right? And I want you to answer me this question, okay? At the beginning of the season, if I said on January the 1st, Man United will be 2 points from 4th, right? Forget about the context, forget about the league, forget about all that. Would you have accepted that? And that's what I would say. Would you have said, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I wouldn't. Because there were many people in this stream saying, I think Man United come 6th. I think Man United come 8th, including big content creators, guys, right? They were saying 8th. I think Man United will be happy with 5th or 6th. They were saying that, right? And as soon as Man United get 2 points from 4th in January, it's not good enough. I get you don't like the manager, but you really are exposing yourself as a low ball IQ person when you do things like that. You know what I mean? And like I said many, many times, guys, you can have a big platform. Doesn't mean you have the biggest knowledge, guys, at the end of the day. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, some of the biggest, worst dictators in human history had the biggest platforms that they've, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up, Dave. Nikki, if Ugarte and Xerxes are going, they must be looking at other players. Nikki, in an ideal world, as they say, if we do get rid of Xerxes, if we do get rid of Ugarte, if Mainoo goes as well, then I would like to think that they're looking at other players. Ruben Amorim has already doubled down on the fact that Man United won't be getting rid of any players until players come in. And I agree with him. as much as we don't rate Xerxes or we're upset with Mainoo and stuff like that, we can't be offloading any players if no players come in. So I would like to think, on a positive note, that they are looking at players and they are close to doing some kind of deal with players. Now, let's not forget that Carlos Baleba will not be walking into Manchester United in January. He'll be walking into Man United when Cameroon leave the tournament of the AFCON, of course, guys. Sooner rather than later. And that's no disrespect to Cameroon. Big up Cameroon. And but yeah, I am thinking of obviously a plainly selfish point of view, guys. But we do need to bring in players. Things do need to happen, of course, guys. Absolutely, guys. Mainoo is Morocco is winning, mate. This is good news. We will get Mbeumo back. Morocco are going to win the tournament, and they're my favourites at the moment. Like you said, Sal, United is always taking too long to do their transfer business. Man United they snooze and they lose too much. They got on snooze button. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, we'll deal with it later, and this is the problem with Man United. And in a bigger picture, in regards to the transfer window of January, this is a big opportunity. You got a chance to bring in players. You got a chance to improve this squad. We are not far away from the top four. Now, what I would like Ineos to be doing right now at this very moment in time is saying, okay, right, we're 2 points from fourth. How are we going to get into the fourth place? How are we going to catch up and get into that place and solidify our position in the Champions League positions? And that is what I want to see for Manchester United. That is what I want to see going forward. Baleba, okay. What else do we need? What else are we missing? Wing back. That's another thing that we need to fix. You know what I mean? Big up Garrett, legend, of course. Kenyon, watched Forest, Everton, and James Garner was decent. Him versus Elliott was good. His former United contract almost done. We are trying to get him. We're not trying to get him. There's rumours around him, but I don't want him, Garner. He's not good enough. And I'll say that, Kenyon, he's not good enough for Manchester United going forward. He's not. He's an average baller. When you're talking about Elliot Anderson and people like that, they got the potential to be world class. That's no offense to the lad, but we got rid of him for a reason. Happy New Year, not happy birthday. Happy New Year to you, Rajat. Hope you're well. Have a good one. Sal, do you think Cunha criticism is over the top? Yes, it is. But that happens when you don't win football matches. When you don't win football matches, people are more inclined to look at the players that come in the summer. They're more inclined to look at the player that, you know why it is? I'll tell you why. It's basically because people believe in him and people are not happy with his overall impact. It is difficult, like I said, to come into Manchester United in this environment. I've said it before. I've said it on many channels that when these players walk into Manchester United, they get this virus where they start very, very well and we're all excited about them. And then they start, getting the same old virus that the other players have got and start playing really badly. Now, when we look at, obviously, Mbeumo, over the last 3 games, he has not been himself, has he? Not only Cunha, Mbeumo as well. He's not been himself, has he? And you're looking at Man United and it was, you look at who's performed well for Man United. And then you look at Lemens. That's it at the moment. He's the only one who you could look at and think, yeah, wow, he saved us the game the last couple of games. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Lemens, you know what I mean? Where would we be? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And that's what I would say. But yeah, hopefully it improves. But again, look, guys, what I would say is that I'm not going to put too much pressure on Cunha. Of course, it was a big money signing. It was not my first choice signing. But I like the player. I like his personality. I do think he has captain characteristics about him, leadership characteristics about him. Obviously, that doesn't mean you're a great player, but obviously you have to. If you have leadership characteristics, it's a good thing to have. His record speaks for itself at Wolves. But I do think that, the problem with Man United is that when you go to Man United, it's such a big club. We're not Wolverhampton Wanderers, with all due respect. Guys, when you go to Manchester United, right, there's an expectation straight away. And when you don't hit the ground running, it becomes more and more like cement, right? So you're running in cement and that cement starts to harden and it becomes harder and harder and harder. And you're trying to perform and it's really difficult, like playing with a fridge on your back, playing through cement. And that's the analogy that I will put on it. It's very difficult. We're dealing with things on a human level. Let's forget about finances, money, this and that. We're dealing with things on a human level. Now, this is why when Man United sign players, we have to look at personalities. We have to look at character. I like Cunha. I think he has a great character. At least he comes across as a guy that has a very good character, but does he have the mental strength? And that's what I would say. Can he overcome this barren spell? And can he come out the other side and become a success at Man United? I firmly believe in him. We need him at the moment, guys. We need him, and we need to back him, and we need to support him, and hopefully it comes good. Big up, Vishwa. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Big up yourself. Hope everything is blessed with you. Happy New Year to you. Why fans are specifically targeting Cunha? Because he's a scapegoat, and Man United deal with scapegoats. That's how the fickle Man United fit section of Man United fan base do. They target a player, he's to blame, and that's it. Last season it was Xerxes. This season it's Cunha. This is what Man United do. We're our own worst enemy at the end of the day. Now, players got booed the other day coming off against Wolves. Excuse me, I still got this cough. Players got booed coming off against Wolves. Do they deserve it? I want to leave that to you guys. Do the players deserve to be booed? Now, I'm not a big thing on booing. I don't think it helps anything, but I don't think I understand the fans' frustration. I do. I understand where they're coming from. I really do. I understand where they're coming from. I understand that the fans are annoyed. They're fed up with this, and you can't take that away, from it. But what I want people to understand is that they need to be starting using that energy towards upstairs. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, excuse me. Cheers, guys. So they need to be starting to use that energy towards the guys upstairs, Ineos and the Glades and stuff like that. I just don't think that booing really does anything. I think it just adds to the hysteria around Man United and the chaos around Man United. I think that's what happens. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I think it's guys. I can't wait to see what's going to happen anyway this transfer window. SC Paul CM Denmark looks quite good. I've watched him 5-6 games, not a bad. It'd be nice, Rajat, that if Man United do have a very, very open-minded approach to this transfer window. Of course, there are many, many players around Europe, as I've mentioned on this channel. Obviously, there are players there that are very affordable. Keith Schmidt is very affordable, for example. If I was Manchester United, I would be looking at Rodrigo Mora, one of the players there. That guy is an absolute superstar. I think Man United need to look at Rodrigo Mora Porto. Those who know. And he's absolute baller, guys. He's going to be a future superstar. I think Man United do need to look at him, in my opinion, guys. Absolutely. All right, brother, for clearing that up. Guessing something happened last night to switch the games. Big up. Dave, Sal, with all these players' links you've been mentioning, which ones do you think will be more realistic and able to get this week? It depends, mate. I'm going to look at this week. This is the first week of the transfer window. I do believe this is the most important week of the transfer window, which is the first week, the opening week of the window opening. So I would say that it would give me an idea of where we stand and what's realistic and what's not realistic. At the moment, I wouldn't throw anything out the window. What I would throw out the window, however, with these ridiculous stories about Man United being linked to Jude Bellingham for 150 million, forget about it. Just stop thinking. Stop it. This nonsense, Man United are going after Jude Bellingham for 150 million. Come on. Even I would be, what the hell are we doing if we sign Jude Bellingham for 150 million? Just come on. And that is unrealistic. What is realistic is the players that I've been mentioning. I think everything is realistic. I think Carlos Baleba is realistic. I think Keith Schmidt is realistic. I do actually think that Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson is realistic, but it's going to be more difficult to do. Nothing is unrealistic when you're talking about Manchester United at the end of the day. But is it difficult? Of course it's difficult. But he who dares wins, and that's what I would say about it. And let's see what they can do. If fans say F off and try to boo Matheus Cunha, then if Man United sign Rodrigo Mora, we'll all boo him also. This is the problem, Rajat. This is the problem. Look, guys, look, if I took my time, I don't have the time, right, Rajat, but if I took my time to take it back about a year and a half when we had Erik ten Hag, and I bring you all the quotes and all the tweets and all the noises around Erik ten Hag at that time. They're identical. They're a duplicate of what is going on right now. You know, exactly the same. We're rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat at the end of the day. We bring in Rodrigo Mora, young player, has a couple of good games, you know what I mean? And then has a couple of bad games, and then we all jump on him too. Exactly that, Rajat. And that is the mentality we have right now. You see the problem with people, they talk a lot about standards. They talk a lot about standards, but not many people know how to reach standards. They don't know. They don't understand. They pretend they do, but they don't know how to reach standards. They don't know what it takes to get to that standard because we're nowhere near that standard. People think we can get to that standard like that with a click of a finger. We're straight into that standard. It's not, doesn't work like that, guys. It doesn't work like that. Man United are way off at the moment. And in my opinion, guys, when you think about Ruben Amorim's first year, his first few months in charge of Manchester United was clearing out the rubble, changing the mentality, changing the culture. The second year was meant for Ineos. Ineos bringing in the players and signing the players for him, which they haven't done. So what have they done? They've thrown him under the bus at the end of the day, right now, as it goes. And unfortunately, there are fans out there who've got their focus on the wrong thing. They're concentrating on a young player. Listen, guys, only a few weeks ago, I was defending with all my chest Dorgu. I was defending Dorgu. I was saying, Dorgu's good. Dorgu's going to come good. You will see. You will see. Lo and behold, look at Dorgu. Look how Dorgu's playing. Been one of our best players over the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? You know, and that's what I said. Be patient with the young players. Be patient with the young players. Listen, guys, people, they've got short memories. Selective memory syndrome. I remember when Mainoo was playing last season. I remember them criticizing Mainoo. What's going on with Mainoo, bruv? What's going on with Mainoo? You know, I remember that. I have not forgotten about that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I know what they said about Kobbie Mainoo. Now, all of a sudden, just because it's a stick to beat Ruben Amorim with, Mainoo's the problem. No, Ruben Amorim's the problem. He should be playing Mainoo at the end of the day. And we're just an array of chaos. I said that we should have a Netflix series. Man United should have this Netflix series. It'd be the most entertaining series there is, guys, since Breaking Bad. I'm telling you right now, guys, absolutely. I think it'd be absolutely incredible. Honestly. Kevin. Sean Mateta, there is more links to yeah, I know. He hasn't really started the season well, Mateta, this season. Would cost a little bit of money. I don't know if that should be a priority at the moment. Look, can I just say something, guys? Funny enough, we're scoring goals. We're getting goals. The problem is the midfield and the defense. We can't keep them out at the moment. We have to wait and see. There is something wrong there. Cameroon finished second. South Africa also finished second. They cannot meet. What are you talking about? That's all right. Cameroon and South Africa can still qualify, can't they? No, Cameroon finished second, South Africa finished second. I don't know what you mean, mate. You mean that Cameroon and Ivory Coast are qualifying for that group. We need a Carrick-esque midfielder as well that can dictate tempo and directly feed our forwards. People underestimate Michael Carrick palms. I've always said that if Michael Carrick played for England more often, England would have won something. You know, he's the link between the attack and the defense, if you know what I mean. Thank you so much, effort. Guys, don't forget to smash a like, guys. 97 in the house at the moment. Don't forget to smash a like, guys. Please don't forget to do that for me. That'd be absolutely fantastic, absolute legends. Smash a like. Put your subscription, put your notifications on and subscribe, guys. You absolute legends. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you, of course. Nice. Did you clean shot? I had to, mate. I had to. I'm traveling, so I had to travel. I've going to be so busy today, so I won't have time to shave. So I don't want to be coming on here tomorrow, guys, in the UAE with looking at a wildebeest. You don't want that, do you? At the end of the day, if they don't back Amorim in this window, then they should just let him go. They are really setting him up to fail by working. You know what I would say? If they don't back him in this window, then they should go. They should go and they should piss off. And that's what they should do, because I'm not, at the end of the day, they're going to do that with every manager, Dave. No matter who we bring in, they're going to do exactly. They're going to throw him under the bus, because let's not remember, this is their guy. This is their guy. And that's what we have to remember. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys. Maybe Bruno, when he is fully fit, is kind of like Paul Scholes, not exactly that mold, but who can Bruno's no midfielder, mate. Raja, he's not a good midfielder. He's ill-disciplined. He's not our midfielder going forward. No, he's a 31-year-old, mate. Our bench was atrocious. It was. It wasn't. I mean, it was young. I wouldn't say atrocious, but it was young, of course. Sal, you must have safe journey back. Thank talk to you again. Big up, brother. Big up, my friend. Big up yourself. Big up, King Jam. What's going on? You're the most logical one on mainstream. Thank you so much, King Jam. I really appreciate you calling me mainstream. My goodness me. I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of logic, and I'm a man of not over sensationalizing things and making things worse than they already are. At the end of the day, I call things as they are. When I make opinion, I can change my opinion. I don't stick to my opinion, and because my ego prevents me from changing my opinion, and that's what a lot of these people do. A lot of narcissists in this circle, and we have to be aware of them. You know, they don't want to be proven wrong. You know, they get very bitter and angry about it if you go against their opinion. I would love one of them to come on and debate me, but none of them will, because I actually have a knowledge of the football club. You know what I mean? And they'll probably embarrass themselves and lose their community. So there you go. United Strand provide United Strand. Oh, I thought you said United Strand. We'll take Strand Larson so we can provide Ben Sesko competition. There you go. He was linked to Man United in the summer. Don't think he's good enough in my opinion. Big up, LT. How you doing, my friend? I respect Goldbridge, but sometimes I feel like he's Amram out, but just wants him to last the season, then sack him, because every time I listen to him, he has nothing positive to say about Amram. I don't know what's happened to Mark Goldbridge. I mean, he has got a little bit negative recently. Maybe, Ruben Amram rejected an interview with him or something. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's entitled to his opinion, LT. But one thing about him, he's smart. He doesn't say Ruben Amram out, because obviously he knows that's going to bite him on the ass. I know he's Ruben Amram out. He's Ruben Amram out. He wants him out. And there you go. At the end of the day, it's shocking to me that, something that I said at the beginning of the season, that people will be turning. People were like, they're so predictable, guys, that they would be turning at this time of the season. And 2 points from fourth place. He's entitled to his opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. But, the energies around Ineos and the Glazers at the moment that we haven't really focused on, enough. And they may deny and get defensive, but they haven't. None of the big channels have. They haven't done enough in regards to that. I actually done more than them. I've done a 58th minute walkout, whether it was successful or not, just me. You know what I mean? And I made that movement, and I concentrated what's important, and I sacrificed myself, What I would say is that it's very important to remember in regards to people in general that, there is a lot of narcissism that comes along with having big platforms, and there's a lot of ego, and there's a lot of like, I'm not wrong, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, as people know on this channel, I'm not Ruben Amram in, I'm not Ruben Amram out. I'm Manchester United in, and I call things logically and rationally, and I don't use emotions to judge anything. At the end of the day, I come from a sporting background. I kickboxed. I've done a lot in music. 20 years. I didn't need YouTube platforms and things to do my thing. You know what I mean? I didn't need something to help me. I used to go out there selling CDs, and then I ended up on Kiss and MTV. At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? I didn't need. I didn't make it because it was easier to do it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these content creators do. It's easy for them to do it. And it's easy for them to spit their garbage. They talk a lot about, we were the pioneers. Pioneers of what? I was on YouTube before them. At the end of the day. So I would say that, look, let people have their opinions. Ultimately, what I would say is that Ruben Amram needs to get results. And that is the key here. You know what I mean? Ruben Amram needs to get results. And if he gets results, then fair play. You know what I mean? Then he can move on. If he doesn't get results, then obviously the noise is going to start getting louder and louder and louder. And those people who are not calling him out in regards to not saying, get him out of my football club, I know what they're doing. They're giving themselves an opportunity so that if it does change, I never said he was Amram out. I never said Amram out. I never once said Amram out. Reading between the lines what they're doing, guys. You know what I mean? It's, it's treating people like they're thick. At the end of the day, just say it with chest. They don't like the manager. It's fine. It's life. We don't agree on anything. Like I said in my tweet yesterday, we're all basically, hopefully, on the same boat, and we all want Manchester United to succeed. We're all on this. We all have an idea of what it takes for Manchester United to succeed, and what we need for Manchester United to succeed. We all have our own notions, of course. Goldbridge can sometimes do my head in too, especially the other slagging Amarim off for changing the system. Look, guys, you know, I'm not egotistical. I'm a humble guy from Leytonstone in East London, but I do know more than them about football, all of them. And I like them. I like Mark. I almost worked with Mark, you know. But at the end of the day, doesn't mean that he's exempt from criticism the way he's been acting at the moment. Not in general, it's just moaning at everything. But I understand that. My standards have never left. I know what it takes to reach standards. I've seen 13 titles. My standards are not left. However, whilst the Glazers are still at the football club, whilst Ineos are still at the football club, how can we totally put this all on Amarim? How can we put this on Amarim? You know, ultimately, I want to challenge for a league title. That's what I want Man United to do. Of course we do. We're Man United. We should be challenging for league titles, of course. But how can we do that when you're sending managers in? We're hand tied to it. Do you think that 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 is going to help? You think that's going to help? You think that's going to help Man United challenging for the league? No, it's not. You know what's going to help Man United challenging? Not formations, not tactics. It's the old Skrilla. It's money. It's what's going to be spent. That is what's going to help at the end of the day. Not formations, not tactics. It's money. They need to get their finger out and start spending some money on this football club, starting now. And that's what I would say. And that is where the energy should be. Until Ruben Amorim has been backed 100%, right? You cannot make an accurate judgment on him. You know, I've heard so many great analogies over the last thing about it. But unfortunately, whether it's fashionable to do so, I think it is. I think they follow the fashionable analytics, the algorithms and stuff. I think they follow algorithms. I don't think they follow logic. I just think that it's ridiculous. That is my opinion. But they are entitled to opinion. I am open. I'm all ears. I'm all conversation. If anyone wants to debate me on Ruben Amorim, they are more than welcome to come in there and debate me. Because I am Manchester United fully. And I only think about Manchester United, the benefit of Man United, what's good for Man United, and how Man United move forward. And that's how that's how I think about it. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ephraim. People forget that we have owners, and this has. People forget that we have bad owners, and this has been the main problem. No manager can survive a badly run club. We have over 60 million spent, yet that doesn't want to for glaringly huge CM problem. Look, at the end of the day, we proved that we got money. So now we got to prove. Now we got to move on with it from money. You know, we got to start spending that money. What I would say is this, which is disappointing for me, by the way. I'm upset by it. That at the beginning of the season, I said it. He's got a 4 out of 10 window. I don't want to see people. And lo and behold, guys, almost like clockwork, I said in December, I don't want to see people turn against the manager if things go up tits upwards. Now, things have not gone tits upwards, so to speak. We're drawing a lot of games, right? We should be winning games, but we're drawing at Old Trafford in particular. We're 2 points from fourth. All right? It's not doom and gloom, by the way. We're level on points with Chelsea. We've spent a lot of money over this last year. Let's not forget that. You know? And I think sometimes it's like my brother Mo on Footy Judge Mo, right? Let me give you an example. He has no affiliation to Man United. He has no reason to back Man United, you know, at the end of the day. In fact, he's not a big fan of Man United, right? But he comes up with logic, more logic than them, you know, in regards to the bench, the way Man United are, you know, Wolverhampton Wanderers and the ability of Wolverhampton Wanderers and stuff like that. And he comes up with more logic about it. And he sees things from all different angles and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we got a circle that we need to start switching off because, you know, it's just becoming repetitive. It's just repetitive. And we need knowledge heads here. We need knowledgeable heads. We need people who actually know about football from Hearts of Oak in Ghana all the way to FC Tokyo in Japan or FC Melbourne in Australia. who've got knowledge about football. Do you know what I mean? That I can come on there and I can call the AFCON and know about the AFCON. I know about the players in the AFCON. I know about players of Uganda and Nigeria and not slag off the AFCON like they did. You know, for example, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So look, at the end of the day, I think we need to start changing the narrative. You know what I mean? I would say that. Happy New Year, Sal. Big up yourself. Resign Ghana back from Everton. If it was a last choice, Jay, then take it, but I don't think. Thank you for the 50 likes, guys. Happy New Year to you and Happy New Year, Jay. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, let people have their notion about it, guys. That anyone who thinks that they've been backed, anyone who thinks Ineos backed Ruben Amorim with the amount of money Man United make, get out of here, guys. Big up. Oh, thank you so much, Sanjit. Thank you for your super chat. You absolute legend. Thank you, my friend. You're absolute diamond, guys. Absolute diamond, of course. LT, big up. By the way, Sajid, you're a legend. Thank you again. Thank you. Have a happy new year. LT, at least Terry's up front with being Aram out, but they forget it's easy to make mistakes with a poor squad, and stats prove that I think people are reactionary, LT. They've made their mind up, and that is it at the end of the day. They go quiet when we win games. They went quiet in the Newcastle game. And then obviously the Wolves game, he's out again. And it's just like we can't get a break. It's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back at the end of the day. Guys, at the end of the day, have a say shit, Sal. Guys, have a say shit. Nota, if you believe everything that billionaires tell you, then I don't know what to say about you, mate. I know more than you about that, mate. And they do have money to spend, which is why they've got money for Semenyo, mate. Okay? Where did they get that money for Semenyo, pal? Where did they get it? Where did that money go? I wonder where it is. The same fiscal year, mate. Same fiscal year. Where's the money for Semenyo, pal? Listen, don't come up with the boot licking of the Glazers and Ineos, mate. Because at the end of the day, I'm a seasoned Man United fan for 40 years. I know this shit, right? All right. So stop glazing them. Respect you, but Happy New Year to you. And guys, thank you so much, mate. Big up yourself. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. Have a great time. Have a great evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn, guys. And I'll see you, God willing, tomorrow, of course, guys, because I will be flying out and traveling today all day long. So I'll go into Istanbul first. So I'll be in Istanbul, then I'm flying off to Abu Dhabi. Take it easy, guys. Rajat. Oh, yeah, when did they find 72 to sign Casemiro? Yeah. They've got money. Billionaires lie. Let me tell you that right now. Absolutely. Excuse me, guys. Thank you so much. I have a coughing fit. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, absolute legends. Happy New Year to you all. I'll see you later, guys. And there might be some transfer news coming up, so I might go live anytime, guys, as well. By hook or by crook, wherever I'm in the world, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great time. I'll see you soon, guys. And thank you so much for your support over the year. Take it easy. And all the best, guys. Let me just read LT's comment first. We have money to spend in January, and we're going to have to spend in the summer window because of the change rules. So we'll see if they actually want us to succeed. Exactly, LT. On that note, thank you, guys. Enjoy it, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for your support, as always. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. See you soon. Peace.